Hey boys and girls, we're back. I was supposed to get this video to you guys at 2,000 subs, but life happens and I got busy. And since we're done with most of the apparent lore logs that are updated, we're gonna focus on some lore that isn't apparent but is revealed by the lore logs we have. So 22 things that the Risk of Rain lore tells us. Enjoy. Number one being that there's an interstellar postal service of some sort. All of the security chests that we use to strengthen our survivors in Risk of Rain 2, many of the lore logs have different locations that are pinned on them where they're being delivered to. The biological, the high value items, things that are going up for auction. So out of the many different locations that they're being delivered to, there has to be someone or some primary caretaker delivering them to each of these locations. In relation to this, it's very interesting when we're playing the game that we use gold to unlock the chests, because in the Risk of Rain universe, the primary form of currency is credits. So there will probably be some card or some type of apparatus you can use to pay these credits to get these chests open. Oh, and fun fact, the rusted key lore log, the person uses the lock boxes and rusted keys and keys in general because this person doesn't trust the security chests and the company or whoever is supporting them overall for whatever reason. So there's probably some shady business going on from there. But moving along to the next piece of lore. The next piece of lore that isn't apparent in the Risk of Rain universe is that there are spirits in the Risk of Rain universe. There are two items that have lore that confirm this, which are the Will-O-Wisp and the gnarled wood sprite. The Will-O-Wisp is used as a weapon of some sort or a bomb, and on the other hand, the gnarled wood sprite is used in hospitals and has even assistant patients and those that are ill with recovery. So there could be other types of spirits in the Risk of Rain universe: ice spirits, fire spirits, earth spirits with different abilities, and they could probably be integrated into life in a lot of ways. So that's another thing that could be explored in the universe. Moving on to number three, it's the transcendent beings that exist in the Risk of Rain universe. We know of a lot of them, and there are probably many more that exist. But to name a few: Providence, Mithrix, Nukuhana, as well as the Newt who acts as the vendor in the bazaar between time. And we refer to them as transcendent beings because they have certain powers or abilities to transcend or bend reality to their will or the laws of the world in some way. As Providence and Mithrix were able to create life in many ways and bend the world to their will, and Newt has control over time in some way, and Nukuhana was able to influence the minds of those that touch items related to her. So in that way, that's what I mean when I say transcendent. Mithrix also mentions in the lore log that there are others like them that exist across the endless Black Sea, aka space. So we probably have many more transcendent beings that we might encounter or see later in the Risk of Rain universe or in DLC. So look forward to that. Number 4 on the list is that within the Risk of Rain universe is that there are still large amounts of conflict between human organizations and also extraterrestrial life forms, due to the fact that within the lore logs there are tons of different advanced weaponry that are continuously being developed, which confirms that there's still much conflict going on in the universe within the time period of Risk of Rain is set in. Just to name a few of these weapons being the soldier syringe, the personal shield generator, shattering justice, the ocular hood, and as well as the prion accumulator, which are extremely advanced weaponry. Moving on from there, number 5 being the large teleporter that is being fashioned out of the moon by Mithrix. Each of the structures on the moon, none of which are natural, they have all been fashioned by Mithrix since he's been trapped up there by his brother for millennia. So Mithrix states in the lore log that he's creating an even greater teleporter so that he can travel greater seas. So compared to the regular teleporters that we have that transfer you or transport you to different locations on the planet, an entire planet that has been transformed into a teleporter can probably travel galaxies or through entire solar systems. So Mithrix wouldn't be limited to the confines of the moon, and he would be able to seek out other species and others like him that are transcendent beings that could, bend the laws of the universe, which he sought out. Number 6, most of the survivors that were on the contact died on the planet, and there are only a handful of survivors left. There's plenty of lore to support this. Some of them are the lore log from the Abyssal Depths, as well as the lore log for the Ceremonial Dagger, and the location, which is Outpost Delta itself. Most of these locations have evidence and remnants and ruins of human constructs, but they are completely deserted. And in some of the lore logs, there are stories about the survivors killing each other due to the environment, many of them being killed by some of the creatures that exist there that are hostile, as well as the Abyssal Depth team. The team that went into the Abyssal Depths was completely wiped out and annihilated. There were no survivors there at all. Number 7. There are multiple different realms and different dimensions in the Risk-A-Ring universe that are accessible through many different means. A good example of this is the Void Dimension, where the Void Reavers usually live and probe out from. Another is the dimension where Aurelianite is kept in the vault, as well as the Bazaar Between Time itself. This shows in the Risk-A-Ring universe there are many other dimensions that are accessible or that can be created, so there could be other worlds or parallel universes that are accessible that haven't been explored yet. Moving on to number 8. There are supernatural forces or magic within the Risk-A-Ring universe, and there are many items that support this with their lore and also their effects. Some of them are Death Mark, Nor's Tome, and the Jade Elephant. There are many other items with magical or supernatural effects in Risk-A-Ring, but we're just going to discuss some of the effects of these 3. For one, the Death Mark. Almost everyone that comes into contact with the Death Mark dies a short time after, except for the owner. The owner has to keep contact with the Death Mark, otherwise they will die as well, and there's no scientific explanation for this. In the case of Nor's Tome, it's a magical tome that confirms the existence of alchemy, the Philosopher's Stone, and homunculi through the use of human sacrifice. The magical property it basically represents or shows is that when it was photocopied or tried to be copied to another form of text, the pages and the text itself immediately turned to ash, which is another unexplainable magical or supernatural property. And the last one being the Jade Elephant. In this case, the Jade Elephant gave peasants armed with inferior weapons the ability to defeat the Emperor's trained army that was fully equipped due to its effect of giving 500% defense overall. And it was made by a sculptor without any particular or special means of crafting other than being made out of jade. So there's no explanation for this other than supernatural or magic properties of the Jade Elephant. Just using some of these as examples, there are plenty of other items in the Risk-A-Ring universe that have magical properties or supernatural properties, in which case we don't have good indicators of how they obtain these properties or why they exist. But it's a nice piece of lore and it expands the universe in a good way. Number 9, it's not really confirmed by the lore, but it's confirmed by Hobo that none of the survivors in Risk-A-Ring 2 are the same except for Acrid. Which brings us to number 10, which is that there are standardized spacesuits depending on the profession you have. A good example of this would be Artificer's suit, as it is a suit exclusive to the High Court, which she belongs to, that's for deep space exploration. And as well, there's Commando suit, which is standard issue for probably soldiers or mercenaries overall. As well as Loader, her suit is probably for just like dock workers or someone that's used for moving cargo or some sort. It's probably standard equipment. So they're standardized suits for jobs overall. Moving along to number 11 is that in the Risk-A-Ring universe that there are many different organizations and there isn't a centralized power that controls everything. Again, a good example of this is the High Court that Artificer belongs to and the different houses that aren't controlled by anyone centrally, as well as the organization that asks Captain to search for the contact like on the rescue mission and keep it secret. Another good supporting piece of evidence for this would be Huntress herself. As a bounty hunter, you would be traveling through many different places in the star system or the galaxy, so there would have to be some type of organization that functions separate that all bounty hunters could adhere to or at least go to turn in their bounties. And that's a common thing in space. Once humans go out and explore, there's multiple spheres of power. There's no longer one centralized thing. Moving on right to number 12, that there are sentient machines or robots in the Risk-A-Ring universe. Three good examples of this would be Rex, Multi, and as well as the sentient Meat Hook, all of them which have a certain level of consciousness and the ability to make their own decisions without input from humans. Right from there, moving to number 13, it goes right hand in hand with number 12, is that there are plenty of sentient species in the Risk-A-Ring universe. Lumarians, as well as some of the tar species, or the symbiotic things that are the tar, like the clay dune strider and such, are intelligent species. Mithrix, as well as Providence included. The planet itself is crawling with other intelligent species, so there's tons of other intelligent life forms out there that we can encounter and probably haven't encountered yet. And for number 14 is that there are interstellar plants or alien plants used in everyday life for many different purposes. There are two good examples of this, one being the Lipton daisy and another being the interstellar desk plant. This is another cool concept for the lore overall, because it would mean if a plant, an alien plant or interstellar plant, had a specific health benefit or effect, you could just simply order it and have it delivered all the way across the galaxy. And they could be used for a lot of different medicinal reasons, or for like therapy, you know, maybe like a marijuana plant or something like that, which is really interesting overall. Number 15, it's confirmed that the survivors brought back many samples from the indigenous life forms that they have defeated, killed, or just found on the planet. They brought them back to a human establishment to be experimented on and, you know, just used as samples for further research. And some of those samples are the mired urn, which basically comes from the tar species on the sand area of the planet, like the dune striders and such. The molten perforator, which comes from the magma or lava worms, and the shatter splane, which comes from the imps. The purpose of studying these items probably has, you know, implications for advancing their technology or their understanding of alien biology. So there will definitely be reasons for scientists to give these items study for future reference. Number 16, most of the species on the Risk-A-Ring 2 planet are not native to the planet itself and were saved by Providence from extinction or somehow being in danger of being exterminated for one reason or the other. From there, this also confirms number 17, is that Providence was able to travel through space on his own without any other apparatus, which is actually really an astounding feat for a singular organism. Another supporting piece of evidence for this is that Mithrix also states that they would succumb to the sickness if they were to travel the Black Sea. So it's possible probably for both of them to do it in some way, shape, or form, but they can still be hurt by it. Number 18 is actually a big one that just was recently confirmed with the update. As you guys know, is that the Contact Light and the humans already knew about the Risk-A-Ring 2 planet, and it was actually a planned excursion that was a secret mission for them to go and visit the planet for whatever reasons, for the local plant life or finding some type of alien technology. And this is confirmed by the Siren's Call lore log. And moving on to number 19 is that the humans on board the Contact Light stole the teleporter or excavated it from the Risk-A-Ring 2 planet. That would have been the only way it was able to get off of the planet, because the teleporters can't move or teleport matter on their own. They have to be activated or moved by an external force. So when they stole it, they didn't know the teleporter's exact function. So this in turn led to Mithrix and many of the native inhabitants of the Risk-A-Ring planet being able to teleport aboard the Contact Light and ensure its eventual destruction. And next is number 20, is that Mithrix and Providence know about Earth and had some sort of plan to go to Earth. In Providence's case, it would be to protect the human species, as he believes that we'll destroy ourselves. And Mithrix wants to come to Earth to destroy the human race because Providence wants to protect them. We don't know exactly how they found out more. They probably only know because of the Contact Light, if they were able to access records of the ship or something like that. But they know about the existence of Earth and want to go there for two different reasons. Moving along to number 21 is that the void fields are used as a dimensional prison for many different types of beings that are strong, dangerous, gods, scientists, most likely heretics that destroy the natural order of the world by the Void Reavers. I'll probably do another video on that to go more in depth, but that's 21. And number 22, which is last but not least, is that the other transcendent beings will return to the Risk-A-Ring 2 planet at some point, so we'll probably encounter them, because Mithrix as well as Providence confirm that they will be returning due to their dialogue and some of the lore logs. So we'll definitely have more beings like them that can bend the laws of reality, as well as shape planets and terraform them to their own means, like Mithrix and Providence did to the Riskarain 2 planet, as well as Commencement and all these other places creating things. But let me know what you guys think about the video. Let me know what you guys want to see next. This took a while. I hope you enjoy. Like, sub, share, and I'll see you guys next time. A lot more videos coming thanks to the update. Stay safe. See ya.